Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr, and this is Robin in the upper left, and Ruth Top on the bottom left, and Cindy on the bottom right. I'll save us all the hello stuff. You've met them all before. For those who are listening to this Sunday show, things got thrown out of whack because there's illness over in the UK, and our plan to have the second show about the red dress fell through. So that'll be next week. So what we've done is Cindy and Robin and Ruth have joined me here and put together their state fair entries, the ones that won ribbons. And we've got a couple that did not win ribbons that we have to talk about because, yeah. So what we decided to do is put together a show and look at all of these state fair entries and read some of the judges' comments and just talk about them, not just show them, but to kind of self-critique and to hear what the judges have to say and learn from these things. So that's going to be our show this week. So for those who listen to the audio, I will put together a slideshow on the page for this podcast. So they'll all be in order. So I'll put together a slideshow, and then everyone else, the video will be the pictures of all of these things as we talk about them. And then Patreon people, you'll get this ahead of time. And so I will only put up the video for Patreon people so that you don't have a choice. So that'll simplify it for Patreon people. So we're going to go through, there's a whole bunch of them. All ribbon winners, and then we have a couple of the non-winners that we want to talk about, as I said. So we're just going to jump in and go for it, and some of them we'll go through quickly, and some we'll dwell on a little bit. So here we go. All right, so the first one is under counted cross-stitch, and this is Ruth's first place, picture over 25 inches, and Ruth, this is what is this one? What is the name of this design?
This is called Rose's Sampler, and it's by Told in the Garden is the designer.
And you took first on this, and so this is over 25 inches. So this is a monster.
Yes, yeah. It is. The judges' comments were that it's the simple frame complements the sampler, and it's a beautiful sampler. So,
okay.
And we should just say that 25 inches is the height plus the width. So the height plus the width has to be over 25 inches.
Okay.
For this class.
Okay, that makes more sense to me then. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So beautiful sampler. I love in the there in the center the way you manage the overdyed threads with that one alphabet. That looks really neat.
That's actually 3 different colors to get that alphabet.
Oh, really?
The overdyed is the top ABC, and the when this you see remember me. And then the borders for the numbers towards the bottom, the top and bottom border of that is an overdyed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I was looking at this one right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's 3 different colors to get that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's no tedious.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. But a beautiful sampler. That came out great.
And that's a piece that first I nearly didn't enter it because it's an older piece that I've done. And for the Iowa State Fair, you can enter any time you stitched it. It just couldn't have been entered before. So, and I remember when I framed that piece, I looked at the frame and I didn't realize I ordered it. So they called me and told me it had come in. And I was kind of shocked because it was way more money than I wanted to spend. It's a mahogany frame.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
It was terribly expensive at the time. Mm-hmm. So
Well, it worked out.
But it's
That's a good
beautiful.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Neat piece.
okay. And then we move on to now this is a three-dimensional. So, Robin, you got second for these two cones here.
For that cone, yeah, in the counted thread division.
Yeah.
And my comments were, let's see, where are they? All fives, which were the high marks for appearance, workmanship, and finishing. Finishing is very nice and interesting with the weaving of the ribbon. So you can't see it in either of the photos, but the way the cone gets made is that you do weave a ribbon through the eyelets.
Do
It's
that
also
again
how it
for us, Elmer
hangs.
Fudd. Weave a wibbon.
I know. I know. um, Then butterflies are very interesting. The
So okay,
Hardanger
so
using
right along
overhead
here,
thread.
then
That's interesting.
you're weaving a wibbon right along here to join the cone. Then.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yep.
Yeah.
An 1/8 inch double-sided ribbon.
Okay. And you made these
And
up
that's how
yourself, right?
the original pattern for the cone, as far as the center design and then the basic outline, came. I don't remember where I found that, but I've done 4 of these, and this is the 3rd one I've put in the fair.
Okay.
And I've always laced them rather than doing it like you do your shoelaces with a good weave of the ribbon. They all have different center filling stitches. They all have a little different silk ribbon embroidery. This time I chose the butterflies because I thought they were fun. And I'd never stitched a butterfly before in silk ribbon. Um,
I got to try. I got to try that ribbon stuff. It looks like so much fun someday. Yeah.
And this
it
was
is, and the bodies on this are a fake bullion, which I love doing.
Hmm.
You lay a foundation thread and then you literally come up with whatever you want and just wrap it around. And it looks like a bullion when you're done.
Huh.
cool.
And then that's just Japanese ribbon stitch for the wings and the bodies. Little
Yeah.
French knots.
Huh. Well, it looks pretty cool. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was your um,
So that was my
Hardanger
three-dimensional second place.
three-dimensional second
Yeah.
place. Yep. And then you did Swedish
Yeah.
weaving. This is so elegant.
Thank you. That is just it's a dish towel.
Yeah.
It's a simple rolled hem. Um, I like doing Swedish weaving. I like doing it on the dish towel fabric. And that's a pattern that had always intrigued me. So I went and dug around in my threads until I found what I wanted. Um, Everything was a 5 on this. So, and like I said, very neatly worked. Ends are well done. It was up against 2 Afghans.
Oh.
I'm always amazed when the dish towel takes first place over Afghans, but it did.
Okay, because that was going to be my question. Is Swedish weaving is not one of your more frequently used techniques. So there were Afghans that used Swedish weaving.
Yeah, yeah. I'm working on
There's
one now.
there's always a little bit of Swedish weaving entered in the fair.
Huh.
So it obviously people are doing it
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's been a class under counted thread for more than 10 years.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I'd be curious to see the Afghans. I bet that's fascinating. But this pattern, I just really like this pattern. It's a unique.
And that's one of the reasons I chose it. It's very different from what you normally find if you were to Google Swedish weaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
You see the
angular.
things that look, yeah, yeah. And that was just me sort of looking at the color wheel a little bit. Okay, I have these two nice shades of um, a teal, a blue green. What's its complement? Oh yeah, orange.
Yeah.
No problem.
Now this, I mean, this is a very simple thing and a straightforward technique. But now, and you got it first, so obviously the judges thought it was well done. Do you feel
And
that it's well done, or I mean, obviously because you entered it, it's well done. But do you feel like there's more you could have done with that, or were you pretty happy with it overall?
well, what you don't see on this photo, when I do a dish towel, I do both ends.
Okay.
A lot of times you just, okay, so if you were to open this up completely, you'd see the mirror, you'd see the same thing on the other end of the towel. And it goes all the way to the salvage like it should. So,
So in
and this
general,
was
though,
a,
you were happy with it
oh
before
yeah,
you entered
yeah.
it.
And it's a pattern I always wanted to do. Whenever I would be looking for patterns, I would come back to this one because it is so different.
Yeah. Okay. So then Cindy, this is in the holiday ornaments. Then Cindy, a third place with these.
Al- Also in Swedish weaving.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just got all my threads out and found patterns that I liked and combined them together into the stockings, and then I
Mhm.
added beads. And so the judge liked them, except she thought the cording was fair, and I didn't do the cording, so
Ah,
um, I think maybe what she's thinking about is it's a little loose on the hanger part, which that and when I looked at it, that was the only thing I could see
Yeah.
that was an issue. But she likes the variety of stitches and the beads, and they're just fun. I did a whole lot of these, uh, all
yeah.
different colors, several years ago.
And these are what, six
And
inches tall?
Gary, mm,
Um, yeah, um, yeah, right at 6.
Okay. Robin, you were going to add something?
well, if you look at her, she has a lot of the very traditional fillings for Swedish weaving,
Hmm.
the zigzag effect,
Mm-hmm.
as I call it. So the blue zigzag,
Hmm.
yeah. They tend to be, yeah, that's a very common pattern right there.
And then you've got some beads in here too, Cindy.
Yep, got to bling it up, right?
Yeah. And so from your perspective, then, other than there might be a question about the cording, um, these came out the way you wanted them to. You didn't like if you had a round number two, you wouldn't go back and correct anything or change anything.
Oh no, I'm happy with them. I like the colors. The pink and green one is probably my favorite of
Mm-hmm.
this group. Uh, yeah, they were just fun to do.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I think it is a fun technique to do in general.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, and then we
Mhm.
move on to holiday ornaments. Then you got a first for your three here, Cindy
Robin.
or Robin.
Robin.
I'm sorry. Jeez. So these three.
Yes, yeah. And those are Victoria sampler patterns.
Okay.
That one, I believe, was in one of the Just Cross Stitch Christmas magazines. But the other two came off of the leaflet, and it wasn't so much about how to stitch these, but how to finish these.
Uh,
Yeah. Um, I waited a long time before I finished these because I needed to get my courage up. It,
huh.
it
Yeah.
involved a skill set that I don't have. And so I had to get Connie involved. Because you need to zigzag the edges and then iron on some Pellon and things like that. And that's just like that's not me. I knew
Oh,
once
okay.
that was done, I wasn't going to have any problem cutting them out and stitching them together because I've done that before.
Yeah.
And I also did something, and I thought about this too. She calls them tassels. And if you scroll down, yeah, you can see some of the beadwork on the bottom.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
So
about those.
I went and found some beads that played well with the colors and the pieces out of my stash and just strung them on fire line using a clear, well, depending on how I did it, just turning a bead sideways to hold it on and looping through.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got stitched into the top where I put the hanger.
Now, are these triangular
And that was one of
or four-sided?
yes, they're three. They're three-sided, so they're triangular. And that was one of the judges' comments. The beaded tassels add to each design.
Because I mean, these almost could be non-ringing bells, depending on what you hang through the middle of
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah. So are the beads, are those hung from the center, like the top center, and just hung
Yes.
down? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I had to do a little measuring and make sure I got them the right length, a good length.
Yeah.
But she also liked the fact that the pieces themselves have beads on them and the way that they were well attached. Because you can see the little, instead of French knots, there's little petite
Right.
beads.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
These looks like these
And
all have lots of options. You could do a ton of things, variations easily.
not so much on the top because of the space constraint,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely on the Hardanger. Yeah.
Yeah. And here, yeah, you drop beads into the Hardanger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of, I don't know if that one has metallic or if it's a rayon in there. I can't remember.
Now, as
So
you
there's a little
did
bit of
these
bling.
as you did these things, you must have learned something piece to piece that made each one get better.
Um,
Unfair question, but just
Gary, I do a
curious.
lot of, I do a lot of Hardanger. So for me, it was more about what do I want the filling stitches to be? Do I want to keep the same filling stitches that the designer used, or do I want to put something that I like to do?
Okay.
Um, and then on this one, getting the, it's not really an eyelet, but that triangle stitched in the green overdyed,
Mm-hmm.
getting that to lay nicely, that was a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Robin, is the same design on the other sides for
All
the
three sides are the
stitching?
same. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this right here,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
which is a real nice feature. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And these are. It looks like this is the bigger of the three,
Yeah,
but they're all very
they're
small.
not right. I want to say that one's maybe not quite 4 inches, and the other one's I don't even know if they're 3. They're
Okay.
tiny,
Yeah. But
tiny but mighty.
this is an excellent, but this little tree like thing. Yeah, an excellent way to stitch up some
Oh,
of these. And
I had several ornament hangers. This one was the one that looked the best because it has, even though it's been carted around, it wasn't dinged up.
okay. All right, and
Well,
then
whenever we go display,
yeah,
I'll grab these and we'll stick ornaments on them, and over time they get looking a little rough.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and then pulled thread. Then you got a first on
Yep.
this one.
Mm-hmm. And that's an old pattern out of, I want to say it was cross stitch sampler, that I just kept hanging on to it because one, I like pulled work, but two, this is all hand finished. That edge is all stitched by hand. There's nothing on the back of this.
Hmm.
And it's a variation on a four-sided stitch,
Hmm.
which I'd never done.
Mm-hmm.
I changed some of the filling stitches on that. And what I did in the top and the bottom, that's my own design from something else.
Okay.
Because I wasn't crazy about what she had, the designer put in it.
Just the little flower things that sit up here at the top.
Yeah, the little violets. And that was one of the judge's comments was beautiful edging.
Hmm.
And she liked the over dyed in the border. It gave it a touch of fun.
Okay. Well, it is really. You mean this border here along here?
In the
Yeah.
Yep.
there's
'Cause that,
two
to
around
me,
the
that's
squares, and then there's an inner border.
that frames the work nice. I really like that too. Yeah. Okay. So first for that, and then we move on to now this is mixed technique, and so
Yes.
Ruth with a third on this one.
And we're still in counted thread.
Still counted threads, yes.
Yeah.
This one is called Christmas Memories, and it's a Just Nan piece. I've got appearance, workmanship, and finishing is all fives. The judge's comments are framing is lovely and sets off the piece. The eyelets are well done. Thread tension overall is very good. Beads are well attached, and the metal thread stitching is good. This is one that I did for my mother-in-law, and then after she passed, I got it back. So, and it's another one that I hesitated to put in the fair because in the lower right-hand corner of the matting, it's kind of scuffed because it's a velvety kind of mat, and she had this hanging by her front door, so it was seen a lot and touched a lot, and I thought sure that they would comment on the mat being kind of scuffed up, but there was no comment on that. So
Your colors or the designers?
designers, those are just Nan colors.
Yep.
That is such a traditional Just Nan pattern. Yeah.
And there's the blackwork angels and the blackwork gingerbread man are tiny. They are, and I did a lot of swearing at those angels.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in those little spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 1/1 with one thread, and it's oh my gosh.
Oh my. So this is again mixed techniques in counted thread. So you have black work, and I think I see some eyelets there. So pulled thread.
Beading.
Yeah, the satin
Beading.
stitches.
Also counts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those little bows between the trees, those I think are in a metallic, maybe, or they've got beads in it.
Yeah.
Just fussy.
Mm-hmm. Really pretty though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were to do this again today, would you stick with these colors or?
Yep, I do it all the same. I like just Nan pieces that she's got. Her color is really good. And they play well together. She generally uses a lot of silk, so it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
When you hauled this out and decided to enter it, were there things that you, if you could, you'd like to go back and fix, or had it held up over time?
Well, like I said about that mat, but I'd thought about it, and if I wanted to change that mat out, I'd have to take it all apart and put it all back together again, and it's not worth that.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To me, that's a question my sister has a wedding wreath I did for them that I had completely forgotten about. And one time at some family gathering, she hauled that out for some reason. And I thought, oh no, I don't know if I want to see this. It's probably hacked together and just awful. And I was really surprised. I mean, it was not embarrassing at all. So, it's these things that over time, do they hold up? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites that I did for her.
I have to check out Just Nan. I've never looked at her stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, her she did for a long time. She did these band samplers. Mom did several of them,
Uh-huh.
and it's when you see one, you can, oh yeah, that's a Just Nan. And
Yep.
and Ruth is right. Yeah, she likes silk threads and uh, just different. She put a lot of different bands in her samplers.
Yeah.
And the details, if you zoom in on those little wreaths below the trees, those are all different colors.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and you're out constantly changing color, changing color, changing color, and it's got a beautiful effect, but they are just fussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in later designs, she's gone to a lot more just DMC floss, but I think that's to get her cost down. But I think her earlier work is the prettiest. The stuff
Yeah.
she did in the 90s or
Yeah.
something.
And I don't know if those are still in print. Might.
Some of them are,
I
some
don't
of them
think
are.
so.
And some of them she's reprinted as well.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Well, it's a nice piece.
Hmm.
All right. And then in the Hardanger, you had a second Robin with this one.
Yes. Yeah.
So do you know
It's
who
my favorite
the
set of
person who got
comments.
the person who got first? Do you know them, or is that you?
Yes. No, you can
No,
only
Okay.
it's
put one
not.
piece in a
Oh,
class,
okay.
but I do know who took first. And her filling stitches were a lot more advanced than mine. My
Oh,
filling stitches on this are not as involved.
oh, okay.
It's my favorite comment sew in a long time. So this was all fives again, as far as appearance, workmanship, and finishing. But she says, very brave using neon green for the ground. It is fantastic.
Ah,
Woven bars are nice and even, beautiful edging and cutting. And the interesting thing this year is the three pieces that were entered in Hardanger were all colored. They were not white on white.
oh, ooh,
Now, the one that took first was a tone on tone, but it was pinks and beiges on ecru. And then the other one was a cute little pattern that had these little snowmen stitched in.
huh?
And it was blues with reds and, a little black and white.
Hmm.
that's kind of a deviation, isn't it? Because don't they usually like everything to be white on white and
But they didn't
traditional?
get any this year. There was that. So, you know, um, yeah. I went back and forth on putting this in because I had several Hardanger pieces that I could have put in.
Yeah.
And then I finally just said, oh, screw it. um, I'm putting it in because it is so different. And we'll see what happens.
Well, it,
Yeah.
it is, but it works. How big is this piece?
Oh, probably 8 by 12.
Okay, so not huge,
No.
No.
but it for me with all the color, um, you kept the Hardanger part clean, all the openings, and I think that's a real plus. I mean, because this is busy enough color wise that if you started filling it with a bunch of other things, it could really get to be too much. But
And that's one of the things I've learned with doing overdyed threads for the filling stitches in Hardanger, to choose your filling stitches well
mm-hmm.
so that it isn't too busy.
Yeah.
I love the edges.
It was a pain to cut out.
Oh, I'll bet.
Oh,
Man,
but I didn't have to resort to fray check, so I did okay.
yeah.
I didn't nick anything.
And it's someone's design or something you made up?
Uh, the outline came from something I had, but the filling stitches, and then I added that inner border because it didn't have that, and I felt it needed it to balance it.
Yeah. I like these little bridges,
Hmm.
for lack of a better term. They just have a nice, uh, almost a resting spot for the eye. At
Yeah,
least
it
for
breaks
me.
up the
Yeah.
Yeah,
triangles.
Yeah.
The squares.
and it was a good way to begin and end the diagonal stitch that goes around each of the Hardanger areas.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Uh,
Now, when you set out to do this, was it what was the starting point? The ground cloth?
yes,
Okay.
we were down at Sassy Jack's, and I kept every time I walked into the fabric room, there was that screaming green fabric,
Ah.
and I remember sitting up in bed, looking at Cindy, and I said, "I know exactly what I've got chimney sparks at home that'll play well on this." And the next day, I bought a piece.
Yep. Ah, that's crazy how that works. So yeah, just
Hmm.
then you build off of that.
I did send this picture. I also sent this picture off to Valdani to show them how I used their threads because that overdyed is a Valdani.
Okay. Well, they should use it in their advertising. Let's go. All right. And then,
And then this was my mixed techniques piece. It's called Pink Champagne, and it's an old Patricia Ann design. She was out of England. And
mhm.
it's got some drawn thread, some pulled thread. The snowflakes at the top are done with this funky Madeira metallic I'd never worked with that she included with the pattern. And
Oh.
I think the neatest feature on this for me is the see the pink and white band um, up near the top. It does a bead cup effect, and there's beads in the middle.
Oh.
I don't know if you're going to be
Oh.
able to get a clear. There we go. So those are little crescents,
Hmm.
and then you put a row of beads in the middle. And it's actually
Oh,
has a
I thought that
term
was
for the
stitching.
stitches. No, it's called a bead cup. So little tiny crescents done with one strand of silk, and then those are petite white beads that are just laid in the middle. Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's such a
Okay.
neat effect.
Wow. I bet seeing it live, I'll bet there's a real elegance to that band right there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of the things she said that it was just such a dainty piece.
Yeah.
Now, in this class, the piece that took first also took best of show.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. So, Ruth, don't feel bad. Yeah.
Get a sense that the competition at the Iowa State Fair is stiff.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Ruth is even more competitive than I am. I figured that out the last time we talked, and I had to laugh about it.
And then you got the sweepstakes. Now, what is the sweepstakes? What does that
Sweepstakes.
mean?
Yeah. So in each division, if the judge wants, and there are works that warrant it, they can award a sweepstakes prize, and that is for overall excellence in a division. So I had 3 blue ribbons in this division, and my other 3 entries were all second place.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it does not always go to the one that takes the best in show in the class or in the division.
mm-hmm.
But it again is to someone who the judge feels the body of work is worthy of the award.
Okay. So this really shows skill and versatility and all the things then.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wow. That must
And
feel cool.
on this you get to see that. What?
That must feel great to be able to get that kind of recognition when you put together a collection like this. You know.
It is. It is. It is one of my goals. I'll tell you that right now. To have a sweepstakes prize. I don't hide that anymore. And you
Yeah.
can see on this that guess what my favorite technique is? Hardanger, because there's 3 pieces in
Yep.
there.
Yep. Oh, that's neat. All right. Now we move on to the needlepoint. And so we got honorable mention for this one, Robin.
Yep. That is in picture on less than 25 inches or up to 25 inches. Um, this is a painted canvas. It is a Lee Designs, and it's called Hildago. And she did a whole series. I think there's 6 of them on the aquamarine canvas. Is the color it's on. She liked my French knots on this one. So in the dark and light purple flowers, the centers are all French knots. And she liked the fact that I angled the leaves, the stitching on the green leaves, to pull you into the flower.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of fun coming up with stitches for the flowers. So like they say, this is not your grandmother's painted canvas anymore.
No, but
There's a
but
bunch of different threads.
it's a design that allows you to actually stitch. There's
Yes.
space in each of those elements. That's what bugs me about painted canvases. So much of it, I just feel like all you ever can do is tent stitch, and this really allows you to find stitches and express the thing.
And that's one of the things when I look at a painted canvas. Now, some of them I buy because I love the shading and I am going to do it in the traditional tent or basket weave
Yeah,
because I want to keep all that shading and I'll drive myself crazy that way.
right.
Um, and then there are these where you've got bigger elements where you can have a lot of fun with your threads and your stitches.
Right. Because, yeah, just the center of these flowers, I mean, that's a lot of fun in there.
Mm-hmm. And on a couple of them, I think I designed a stitch that would fit.
Uh-huh. Now, are there in the fair, are there a lot of painted canvas, or is that a fairly rare thing?
It varies. This year there wasn't a lot, but in past years there has been.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in this category, in this class, I was up against pieces that were counted canvas.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay, so honorable mention
this
for
one just
that.
makes me sad.
And then this one I'm mad about. Because 4th place for this, come on. But then
Yeah,
we look at Ruth's 2nd coming up here, and it's all right. Okay, maybe I don't know.
so the judge liked the frame and the matting, and she also liked the threads, which kind of surprised me a little bit. And she liked the way that I stitched the center motif.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Sue Reed design?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called Garden Path, and it was one of the correspondence courses that we did through Cyber Pointers. But I changed the colors.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a fun show with Sue, a Patreon show with Sue talking about this and
Yeah.
comparing what you did with her original design. It was fascinating to hear from her how she went about that, and then what you did as you went through it, because they're not the same in any way. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I made some uh, fairly significant changes because for one thing, I made a mistake. And by the time I discovered it, I wasn't going to go back and take it out. So I had to make some adjustments out in the border. And not the narrow border, but the white, the kind of center border where the waffle is.
Yeah.
And and the yeah, that's where I made the mistake.
Right.
So the other thing that I found interesting about this piece is that Sue included some surface embroidery stitches. So the flowers on the outside in the border are lazy daisies,
Oh,
and it's lazy daisy on top of lazy daisy.
Yeah.
There's solid color ones on the bottom, and then the top ones are done with the overdyed.
That's out here.
Right.
I don't know why I'm getting such a fat thing, but anyway, yeah. Well,
And I wasn't real happy with my lazy daisy stitches, and I would have expected some criticism about them, frankly, because I had trouble keeping them consistent. But the judge didn't say anything about it.
now we have been over this in a couple of shows, and with Sue Reed, we went over it rather thoroughly. And now, after you've entered it, are you still happy with this? Because you say you made a mistake, and a mistake, but unless someone called it out, unless you call it out, there's no way you would know. But you made a real
Oh
nice
yeah.
adjustment in those spots there that worked
Hmm.
out really well. And I mean, to me, it didn't hurt or help the design. It just fits right in. But after all the discussion we've had about this thing, are you still happy with it, or have you now had second thoughts and you might go back and if you did it a second time, do it a little differently?
No, I like it a lot. I
Yeah.
I love the colors. Uh, I think it's dramatic looking, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah. Because we've talked about it so much that after a while I wonder if you start thinking, well, maybe this, maybe that, but I mean it's
Oh
just
well, that if you did something the second time, like with the Fibonacci swirls, we've talked about those too.
yeah,
Uh, there's always something you can do different the second time.
yeah,
That, and I don't know what I'd do different on this one. It's not one that I would do again,
mm-hmm, yeah, it's a nice piece.
but there's you can always come up with something that you could do differently.
Yeah. Okay, and then second place is Ruth.
that's another Sue Reed, and it's Mardi Gras.
Hmm.
Your
And
colors?
that was one of her alternate colored, one of her colorways.
Okay.
It's all in silks. It was a lot of fun to stitch.
There's a lot
Just,
happening in here.
oh
Hmm.
yes. Those corners have our star stitches, and that you just pile up on top of each other, and then you go two different directions, and oh my god. And the greens in that are three different greens, and so you do a solid green of each color, and then you do all three colors in one of them. So
Hmm.
and they're all identical. And it seems like the center part has no extra space in it. Every hole is covered.
Uh-huh. What did the judges say about this?
Um, Says that the frame and the mat are striking with this piece. Very nice tension throughout. Stitches are very even and well done. Good control of the red metal thread. The matting on that, the red mat is one of those velvet mats,
Hmm.
The green mat is a linen mat,
Oh.
and those just, they all the colors just worked.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Something I said earlier that I need to talk with my framer about is in two of my pieces, this one and another one, the mat is pulling away from it's
Yeah.
kind of bowing a little bit. And he told me it's because of humidity, but I I don't know if I agree with that. I'm going to go talk to him about it. But
Oh, I see that over here. Yeah.
yeah, on this
Uh,
piece they don't comment about it, but they do on the other one. So
I mean,
so
that's a lot for that. I mean, that's heavy board. Jeez.
that's one
yeah,
of the reasons I like to put glass on things because glass will keep
Glass.
that from happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Some of it is because they that's not a very deep frame.
yeah,
So to get two mats
Hmm.
and the mounted piece in there, he had to really bear down uh,
Yeah.
on the framers points to get it all in there.
yeah.
And that is not, and that doesn't surprise me that it's warping a little bit between that pressure and humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I learned on that piece in particular, those little squares have a couched border of metallic, and in order to um, save your thread rather than using a lot of thread trying to get around all those lines, she teaches you how to go down and come up in the same hole without pulling your thread out. And
Oh.
Oh,
I had to do a lot of reading about that and a lot of trial and error, but once I got it figured out, I was amazed on how well it works.
okay. So I have this. I do have this. Mine is the purple, gold, and green, the Mardi Gras colors. I haven't
Right.
started it, so it looks like when I do get around to it, that I will be learning a lot of things.
You will. And that center part, like I said, is just layer upon layer upon layer.
So
Yeah.
actually, I think this was a correspondence course for cyber pointers too, that I
Hmm.
passed up on until I saw yours. And then I wished that I had done it. So then another opportunity came along. I don't remember how, but I did. Maybe it was the spring fling or something like that. So I did go ahead and get it. And it was a kit. So, I think she only had these two color choices.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a third one, I don't remember, but uh,
And the silks, I think they're pepper pot silks, and they're just beautiful to work with.
okay, good to know.
Yeah, those I've used those in Gay and Rogers stuff, and yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. When you compare this to the one that took first place, do you feel like it definitely was a bit above yours or close?
Um, I don't know what took first place, so
Oh,
Yeah. And I don't remember in this one either.
oh, okay.
but three of my pieces that I entered, I really, really expected them to do better. But I'm not going to squawk about the red at all. But, I just, kind of a little disappointed. But it's like, okay, this one's my favorite of all of them that I entered.
Uh huh. Yeah. Okay. And then now we move on to mixed fiber. So honorable mention. What did the judge say about this, Cindy? Come on, this thing is terrific.
So it was all fives, and what she says is the frame works well with the piece. The pearl cotton stitches are well done and make a great base for the crescent stitches. That was all she said.
Huh. Okay.
So were you disappointed to get an honorable mention for that? I think it would have done better. Should have done better.
No, I mean I don't really care what kind of ribbon I get. I do it because I like to display my work.
Right.
So, for me, the ribbon is just kind of a plus.
Okay.
Like Robin and I.
All right.
Ruth, she's not competitive like you and I.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So that's honorable mention. And then mixed
And
fiber.
that's honorable mention in mixed fibers. Yeah.
Right. And then Ruth, you get fourth.
Fourth, yep. That's the one that I was really disappointed in. I thought it would do better, but okay.
I love that. I love the
And
colors.
yeah, and this one I just wonder if the judge didn't care for it, but whatever. I love it. I love it in person because all that metallic just kind of jumps out at you, and I don't usually work with oranges, and I like this
True.
piece.
I'm impressed you stitched it without your eyes becoming permanently crossed. Man.
Once you figure out what's going on, it's quite easy. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And what did the judge say?
the judge said I got all fives in appearance, workmanship, and finishing. The framing is wonderful for this piece. The metallic threads add great bling to the Bargello, and the border is a nice touch. And this one again, my mat was pulling away from my piece, and I was concerned, but whatever. And again, I think got 3 mats on this one, I think. But
yeah,
Mhm.
it's an eye catcher, no question.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, and then second in mixed fibers, then is
No,
or
this took
third is Robin.
third. This took third. This was a Needle Arts Mystery Retreat piece from Chicago. And it's one where the 4 designers each design a quadrant and then they coordinate on the center.
Mm-hmm.
So in the top right, you see the swirls? That's the wind in Chicago for the Windy City.
Mm-hmm.
And in the bottom left, they have the river. It's got a lot going on. I stitched with threads I've never stitched with before. There's boucle in there, which is a pain. There's the straw silk is used in there as well. Then Debbie Rowley likes her rayon, so there's some rayons in there.
Yep.
A little bit of metallic. Again, this had all 5s. She says the frame and the mat definitely fit the piece. In fact, I love the frame with this because it helped pull that funky pink border
Yeah.
on the piece. It made it work.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many stitching with so many different kinds of threads shows a mastery of needlepoint stitches. This piece is busy, something new everywhere you look. The piece that took first in this class also took best of show, and it was a much cleaner, more elegant piece.
Mm. Also counted cross stitch or counted canvas. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Counted canvas, yeah.
Yeah. Because if we look at these 3, and then there's 2 that the judge felt were better than these 3, holy smokes, that's stiff.
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. And that was one of the comments that we were told, that the person who judged this was surprised at the quality of the work that was submitted.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And still one of the great events. Too bad they don't do it anymore. But to have 4 designers, they did it for several years.
Yeah.
Put together.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just yeah. The fact they don't do that anymore is a real loss because that's yeah.
So who are the designers on that? You said Debbie Raleigh and who else?
Linda Reinmuller, Mary Knapp, and Pat, and I can't remember Pat's last name.
Hartman.
Okay.
I think it's Pat
Hartman.
Hartman.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful piece. I like the pinks, of course, but
And the each designer comes up with their own colorway. And this
wow.
was the brightest, happiest colorway.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
how they
even
every
remember
year
which
put
ones.
that together, and they worked independently on their
Yeah.
portion, and how they
Right.
put that together, and every
Yep.
one of them is just a superb design. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, very cool. There, I was. It might have been this year that I visited just for a little bit, and there were
Yep.
people there that had done every year,
Yes.
and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah. Too bad they don't do it anymore. Yep. All right. Then we get holiday decoration. Cindy
Yes.
with ornament with stockings.
Mm-hmm. And these are Bargello stockings. Let's see, what did she say about these? She liked the way they were finished and she liked the colors and good coverage, which is hard to do with Bargello sometimes.
Yeah, these are neat. Yep. Apologize for the inset repeat of the picture, but that was me doing something I
And
have no idea how to undo.
this is the same stocking outline that I used for the uh,
Yeah.
Swedish weaving one. I found a stocking outline that I liked years ago, and so I made one a template out of quilting template plastic, and I use that whenever I do a stocking. That's the one I used.
Okay. Maximum for the money. All right.
Hmm.
Okay, and then Robin's silk gauze takes first
In silk gauze,
in
underneath in
silk
the
gauze.
needlepoint division. Yes.
So how
Yeah.
many? So there, that means there were other silk gauze pieces then.
No.
No. Okay.
No, this was the only entry this year. Now, in past years, there have been other pieces, but this year, this was the only entry in that class.
I'm chicken to go up against you in that class.
And again, all fives. She says the frame is perfect with the piece. Crescents add to the overall look. Amazing piece of stitching.
Well, it is, and and that's the thing. First place, and there's no other entries. But I would challenge anyone to outdo this because
Hmm.
we've talked about it in previous shows. I mean, this is just really excellent, beautiful piece. Yeah. Yep. All right, then we move on to the dimensional, and we've probably been going. Yeah. Okay, we need to move along. Okay, so dimensional. Then Ruth is fourth with your windmill
Pinwheel. Yeah,
pinwheel.
I love
that,
that.
that one was from an old Needlepoint Now magazine piece. There was a corresponding painted canvas that went with it, and then I think I had to order the stick and the that beaded sequin from somewhere else. It took me a long time to get all that stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
And then to find someone that would finish it for me was another challenge.
Hmm.
I think I ended up sending it to California in hopes that it came back to me. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
kind of an expensive endeavor, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cute. It just
And does it actually turns?
it turns. It doesn't spin, but it does turn. It's
Cool.
there's too much in the center to for it to really spin,
Yeah.
but it
Right.
will turn.
Okay.
It's very cool. Yep. Yep. All right, and then Robin with third.
Yeah, and that's a painted canvas. Um, I'm trying to remember who the designer is, but she actually all of these. This is the second of her squash pumpkins that I've done. Um, she had 8 or 9 of them, and they were in needlepoint, featured in needlepoint now, and that's why I went, "Ooh, I really like those."
Are those beads in the background?
Now that is I don't remember if that's accentuate or what I used in there. Something with a little bit of shine.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
she says it's very well finished. The base and the corners are excellent, well stitched and colorful, and it was all fives.
Oh.
So again, why I got third?
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows?
These all fives that don't win. It's like how does
Yeah.
perfection not win? Yeah. Yep. Okay, and then first place, and this quite frankly is understandable. Your needle book here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, that actually kind of surprised me a little bit,
Oh,
just because I there's just a couple of nitpicky things that I noticed that you know. But she said beautiful front and back covers, interesting color combination, and
Aha!
interesting color combination and scattered flower sequence, scattered randomly. So, you always, when somebody says interesting, you never know
yeah.
if they really liked it or not.
Right.
But uh, so the sequins that are scattered randomly, uh, this is a piece by, it's not Trish
Tanya,
Burr,
Tanya Berlin.
Tanya, thank you,
Tanya
Tanya
Berlin.
Berlin. And she put French knots in those empty squares, and she did it randomly. But everybody, so we did this as a project for our local chapter, and I think everybody that's doing it is not doing those randomly. They're putting them in this hunter,
Oh,
because random kind of hurts, you know.
yeah.
But and I mean, would I had to kind of make myself do the random, but I like it. And then she says, beads are tight. So I noticed that this is something she's been consistent about, where people have put
Mhm.
beads on. She's saying they're tight, which is nice.
Yeah.
And borders are well done. So, yeah.
Yeah, this came out great. We had this on more than one show, and even the pages are great for the needles. Yeah, really nice. Yep.
You,
Yeah, that when I was directing handbells, you talk about something that requires utmost precision, and then there would be pieces where it would call for random ringing. Hardest thing to do, you know.
uh-huh.
Same
Yeah.
thing here. You want me to what's random?
Yeah.
Everything has to go
Right,
in its place. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. No, I remember the look from handbell ringers. Random? What? How am I supposed to do random? Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then our last piece, needlepoint. What
Senior
is?
senior division, and then they just have um, one category for each. Or what is it? In the senior division, they use every category or class, and you
Yeah,
get
Right.
there's a whole bunch of different classes. So it's more by technique in a sense.
yeah.
Needlepoint, there's crochet, there's knitting, spinning, weaving, cross stitch, surface embroidery, etc., etc.
Hmm.
And this one she counted off on me because the mat is pulling away from the piece.
Oh,
You can see it on the top.
yeah.
And that's her only critique of it, that the work should be flat against the mat. And I can't help it.
Yeah, right.
And it was this one or the lava flow I couldn't figure out, which one should go. Because it's like, which one would rate
Mhm.
higher? This one is mixed fiber, mixed technique, mixed everything. This is called Sunflower Seeds. It was a correspondence course, I think, through A&G. It's by the
Yeah.
woman from Australia, Marilyn Hazelwood. Um,
Oh,
I kind of don't care for her things just because she is not, um, in her geometrics, they're off. And that drives me insane.
Hmm.
So, she doesn't always, if you look at the two top rectangles that one of them meets the center, or one of them meets that orange and one of them doesn't, and that drives me insane. It just,
Oh yeah.
Mm.
one thread or two threads, it's not the same either way, but whatever.
Mhm.
So she's basically doing it to fill the space.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily some, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just not the same. It's not a mirror image. It
Yeah.
Mhm.
it just doesn't all align, so that just throws me.
Mhm.
And I never would have put turquoise and those corals and those oranges together, but they work.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I didn't care for one of the threads that's in the corners. I can't remember what it was. It was a rayon mix, and it did not behave.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
it's a colorful piece.
Yeah. And looks like it's got some interesting stitch combinations.
Yeah.
It does.
And the center part of that, I remember stitching that, and I got to like the third or fourth round and discovered I was off center. And it's like, how could I have not noticed that before? I mean, I was way off
Uh-huh.
center, and
Oh.
Ooh.
and I don't know, just had a hard time with it for some reason.
Well, still second
And that,
place.
and that is stitched with those gum nut threads, so they're wool and wool blends, so
Oh,
they're interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. We better end this thing. That was fun.
Yes.
Congrats. That's a lot of ribbons.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you know what? It's a
And
lot of
we
ribbons,
were
but it also really demonstrates the breadth of needlework
Mhm.
that is done, because you consider this and then look at all the places that you guys didn't get, and you start to add that up, and that's just a tremendous variety of high level needlework in a bunch of techniques. I mean, it really speaks to what the hobby in general offers. It's
And this year we were the only three from our chapter that entered. Normally there's at least two more
oh
that enter, but they just didn't have anything ready this year to go in.
yeah
So next
yeah
year we'll see more stuff.
yeah. This going through this makes me wonder if, in terms of state fairs, how Iowa looks compared to other states. Is because it just seems like there's a lot of activity here. But then in recent weeks, I've seen several posts of people from other parts of the country, also with ribbons for impressive work. So obviously, a strong aspect of the state fairs. So yeah.
So actually, if you wanted to see the other entries in these classes, this year they did a Facebook page for Iowa State Fair Fabric and Threads, and each day they
Yes.
posted a different
Mhm.
category. So you have to look through, but you can. There's one day that they took pictures of all of the needlework.
Oh
Wow.
So then you can
Yeah.
see which ones, you know. The only problem is that I mean they did group each kind of class together, but you can't read the numbers on the labels, so you don't know exactly. But the things that are one best of show are separate in a separate picture because those are always in a separate place in the fair.
hmm
There's one area where they put the best of show for each division, uh, needlepoint, quilts, uh, knitting, whatever it
yeah
is.
yeah
The best of shows are always in one central area. So
mm.
there's a photo of that.
Okay.
So that'll give you an idea of the number of entries, which I think was up a little bit this year from past years, and also the competition.
Yeah. Well, there's clear that there's competition here. There's no question about
Mhm.
that. Yep. All right, we better end this thing. I will put a link for people with Facebook accounts. I'll hunt down the link and put a link to that Facebook page so you can go check those out. Thanks, ladies. That was fun. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
You.
Thanks to everyone for listening.